Hi everybody, welcome to episode 63. I am beginning to make a little bit of progress here on Gleba, which is still a new planet for me. I still don't really know a whole lot of the mechanics yet, but I'm figuring it out a little bit. So what I've got here is just a little circular setup of my nutrients and the Kumiko pulp, or that's what I'm calling it, basically the mash. And this has been able to get me enough fuel to power the heat tower, which is going into my power setup. And I did expand this just a little bit between episodes. I also added in some tanks for the steam buildup, so that way if these are not at max power, I do have a little bit in reserve to fuel my power sources. So I feel like power is finally pseudo-solved for now, at least to get more of the base up and running. The problem is I have been too poor to really afford many products, so I'm calling in reinforcements. I've got my platform, just landing now with a ton new resources. So I'm going to start by unloading a couple quality of life things, but also things that I really need. All these boxes. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do these. More roboports. Green circuits for sure, and red circuits. All of this stuff I basically don't have access to. I also want the modules. I definitely want to prioritize efficiency modules on this map because power has been such a problem, but productivity modules as well, so that I can hopefully get more Kumiko seeds. And then furnaces, I think I will hold off on for now. But let's also request more belt. And let's call that good, apart from maybe more bots. Okay, cool. So I can pick up the shipments now, and it will be so nice to actually start building things. Unfortunately, I still don't have much of a bus going on yet. I think that's partly because I don't really have a very good fuel source. I'm still just using spoilage and wood to power my furnaces, but we do have the ability to do the bacteria versions of iron ore and copper ore, so I will want to get that eventually, and I'm assuming those will actually get crafted in the biochamber, which would, I assume, eliminate the need for furnaces over here in the traditional sense. But probably the first thing I should do, now that I'm not entirely poor, is to use the biochamber to make more biochambers, which is kind of a cool feature. That is this thing here. Oh, except these need eggs. That's right. I don't have automation of the eggs yet, or landfill. In fact, landfill just takes stone. So I could put down a little assembler here, unless... Can I make landfill in this? No, I can't. Okay, so an assembler it is. We'll just put that right here. I also decked out my toolbars a little bit more, so they're now nice and organized, which has been like 60 some odd episodes counting for that. Just took me long enough. Okay, landfill here. Ooh, and I can also make artificial landfill. We won't do that quite yet. But that will probably be something I have to do, it looks like. And put this into a request. Oh, no. Passive provider box. And attach that to the network. I thought I called down more roboports and stuff. But if not, let's do it. The other platform is also up and running. That's this one here. It's also stopped at Volcanus, trying to pick up the metallurgic science packs and picking up the tungsten carbide. Also artillery, which I've automated on Volcanus so that we can eventually get that transported primarily to Navius for now to clear out the massive amount of biter nests that I have in the perimeter. I really haven't been able to expand. Primarily, I'm needing iron and more oil. So once I can clear out some biter nests, that will be something I'm doing either when I come back or maybe even remotely. But let me pick up the rest of the shipments here. And I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not nearly as poor now. So yeah, back to this. So we're going to need eggs. I'm not sure how we farm those in a automated manner, apart from what I've been doing, which is just kind of running around and getting them and trying to build enough of the biochambers before the eggs spoil. Let's cap this off at a full row, I guess. And I think 3 inserters is overkill. Too bad this patch here is so small for the stone ore. But I think we have more stone in the network somewhere. So I will request that to go right there. Ooh, out of power yet again? Shouldn't this be kicking in? I have these. How come they're not working? Okay. Oh my gosh, am I an idiot? Yes, I am. I disabled a power pole, so alright, now things are working. Whew, okay. Good, I was worried there for a second. Alright, so back to the job at hand. I don't know how to get automation of the pentapods yet, so I guess we're gonna hold off on that for now. Are there other things worthwhile building in here, though? Okay, so this is how we will do, I guess, rocket fuel production. We'll have that capability eventually, it looks like. I don't yet want to play with the bacteria stuff, but this is probably the next thing I need because this is the other thing I think you can plant or harvest. So I need to get some jelly nuts, and the product will be the jelly nut seeds and the jelly. So I'm thinking this is comparable to the Kumiko mash or whatever it's called. I'm assuming if we're comparing, so bright yellow has been like Kumiko area, so I'm assuming bright purple will be jelly seed area. So I'm going to head on over there, see if that theory is correct, and then farm up as many of the jelly nuts as I can to kind of kickstart this next seed and harvesting process. It looks like I'm here already. And does this give me a bunch of jelly nut? Yes, it does. Okay. See, I'm beginning to figure out the mechanics and the biomes and things like that. Everything in Factorio is intentional, which is really nice for helping to figure out the game. I will need, I'm assuming, to make more agricultural towers. This also takes landfill, but now I'm not nearly as poor and I can afford them more easily. And I'm assuming that all of the green zone is where you can plant one of the trees and the yellow you cannot. What I don't know is if it's worthwhile to like plant them close together. No idea. I guess we can experiment and find out. In fact, let's just put a box in the middle. We will request the jelly nut seeds. I know I don't have any yet, but once they're up and running, we'll request them. We'll request 6 because I think it just takes, 3 slots or something like that. We can do a shared output box as well. We will, of course, hook this into power. And then I want to try to eliminate spoilage, so I'm actually going to do that by turning this logistic connection on so that we only have the seeds go in if we have less than or equal to a certain amount of the, I guess, the jelly. So if jelly is less than or equal to, we'll say 20 for now, and I can always update that later, then this seed will go in. Do I already have 20 jelly? I don't think so. I'm assuming this condition is turned off because I just don't have it hooked into power. So let me travel back to the base now. We'll hook this into power. Right there. And then I'm going to need to carry over roboports. Whoops. That's in network. There. And I suppose I could be, using belts and things like that, or, God forbid, train, which I don't want to get into at all at this point. But for now, bots are the easiest option. And then we'll just add this power station there. And now we'll have that up and running in theory once I can get some seeds. And I can plant even more. I'm not sure how many of these we need. I'm assuming this is basically comparable to mining, so I'm assuming we'll need a lot. Let me just copy the condition here. And if I can add another one, I would like to, like that. Copy the condition, substation, there. Ooh, that one is already working. I'm not sure why. Oh, I guess it's cutting down what was already available. That makes sense, I suppose. Are there any others nearby that are worth grabbing? No, but since I'm here, I'm going to farm the iron. And then it would be nice to farm some more pentapod eggs since I'm out and about. Looks like there might be a little nest down there. I don't have any production of any ammo yet, so I'm still just relying on my mech armor. Oop, there's the thing. Although, I should think about this. So there's got to be a way to automate egg farming, right? So do I do that with one of these as well? Can I farm eggs? Possible inputs are only seeds. Do I do it with a biochamber? Okay. So if I want to make 2 pentapod eggs, I need 1 egg. That's interesting. Okay, basically you get 2 for the price of 1. So that's what I'm going to do when I get back. I'm going to try to repurpose the... How many eggs am I thing? 2. The exactly 2 eggs that I now have in my inventory to start the process of doubling that. Hopefully they don't expire before I can get back. Expiration is 15 minutes for spoil time, so I've got some time. I'll just need to be able to hook in all the other ingredients needed for the Pentapod biochamber processing, I guess. So let me fix this recipe. We'll do Pentapod eggs instead. So we just need the egg, nutrients, and water. And we've got that right here. We've also got water right here. Easy enough. I don't know how this area became kind of my little mall, so to speak, but it has become that. Let me move this down a tile so that I can use the inserter there to grab from the nutrients like that. And then output box right here. And I keep forgetting I have the new toolbar, but I do. The eggs spoil, so let's put the condition on the insert that pulls the nutrients in. So we'll only pull nutrients if, where is it? The Pentapod eggs. Where are those? Why do I not see them at all? Oh, there they are. If Pentapod eggs are less than or equal to, let's say, 20. So if we have less than or equal to 20 eggs, it will pull the nutrients, and then this will do its thing, start to craft, and then output, I guess. I'm not sure if that will lead to too much spoilage or not, but we'll try this condition for now. Oh, and I better put the eggs in the system there. Ooh, productivity modules. Definitely want that. And then just so this would still work, if I wasn't manually placing the eggs in, I'm going to request eggs here as... I'll request like 2 eggs. Only 2 eggs. I just don't like that that means that they might spoil then. I'm going to actually not do that box there after all. All right, well, we now have production kind of Pentapod eggs. I will put them back in the system. The interesting thing is I could probably expand on this little setup to make it so that the eggs feed itself. Not sure if this is overkill and I'm making something way more complicated than it needs to be. Very possible I am. But I'm just thinking we can have the pentapod eggs just feed back into itself, so it's always going to be producing more, and then just any excess will basically stay in here. Kind of like a similar setup that I have with my uranium-235, 238 processing. How is fuel? I'm basically lacking spoilage at the moment, but the nutrients will eventually spoil and then feed into these. And of course, that's also why I have the backup steam tanks. So I'm still in okay shape. So pentapod eggs, we've got now up and running. What? Uh-oh. We've got an odd number of eggs. That's not good. So we always need a positive number. I could probably make that so by doing that. I'm going to try that. Let me put those back into the system. I've got nutrients. Do I need even more nutrients? Oh, geez. This is a very expensive thing. Let me just see if I can jumpstart this. Okay. No, not really. I guess it's just really expensive with nutrients. And nutrients is what I'm lacking right now because I don't have enough Yamako. Crap, just when I was thinking this was kind of solved, it's not. Ooh, and what happens if the pentapod eggs are just left in here? Do they explode? I guess time will tell. We'll find out. Let me check on the Yamako farming here real quick. So I do have the Yamakos getting produced. Why aren't they going into my little circle? My little looping network. And I've got plenty of bots available. I just don't have enough nutrients. I'm not really sure. So this is full of Yamako mash. But this is full of mash, but not any nutrients. Oh, I think this is the problem with this planet, is you're running into clogging issues again. Okay. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. I don't have a solution for this yet. Oh, geez. Am I just getting too much? I've got enough mash, but not enough nutrients. I'm gonna add a box here also for nutrients, just to kickstart things if, as I'm experiencing now, this runs out. Okay, phew. There we go. So that will jumpstart it if I run low. And I'm only requesting 2 to try to limit the spoilage as much as possible. How's this thing doing? Yeah, I just need more nutrients. This is so expensive. Ah, man. How do I get more nutrients? I think more nutrients we get from more farming. And more farming... Maybe I need to... Should I make these active provider chests? I'm going to. And that will force the bots to prioritize getting this stuff. Ooh. Good, some seeds. Seeds are coming in. So can we add modules to these? No. At least not at the moment. Okay, well, the active provider boxes are already fixing the bots prioritizing bringing over the supplies. Let me move that into this chest. I'd rather it go into this one to kind of jumpstart the nutrient process, which is what my bottleneck is right now, I think. Pentapod eggs are... Actually, maybe it's just that this is so expensive, all of the nutrients are coming to this. So how do I make even more nutrients? I'm obviously going to need to fix this whole setup and expand the loop. and like belt other things. Oh boy. Because if I add another one into the system, I feel like it's going to get messier. Well, I could do bioflux, which also will give me nutrients, but I don't know what bioflux is. Oh, it's the combination of Yamako mash and jelly. Okay. Let me just leave this how it is for now. Let me check on the jelly situation. And then we can start getting the jelly and the Yamako combined to work towards the bio stuff. Alright, how's this going? I have some jelly nuts. We will upgrade these as well. I'm going to request some of those in my inventory. And some are on the way. So make those active provider boxes there and there. And are there any more I can farm to kind of, again, just improve my inventory real quick? There's maybe additional here? Not really sure, but that's a bright purple area. Or maybe it's just that's the area. I'm guessing that's why there's the little white outlines too, because that means there's trees there. Alright, so I'm going to head over there. Kill those trees. And then we'll head back and start the next biochamber, but this time it will be for the jelly. And there's more eggs. I think I am going to leave these here because there's surely got to be a way to farm these eventually. I just don't know how to do it yet. So I want to leave some intact so we can play with that later on. Alright, we've got a inventory full of jelly and the iron bacteria, so we're going to head back. Get more seed and harvesting and mash and nutrient production, but with the jelly version instead. Let me get rid of these eggs. We'll put them, I guess, we'll put them in the box for now. And then we can use them to make more biochambers if I want later. We'll still have to figure out if these just truly spoil into spoilage or if they turn into big premature regular pentapod once they completely expire. We'll see. Okay, so let me see if I can just now figure out how to work in the jelly processing into my little loop here. So let's put in the jellynut. We will borrow the nutrients from here. There we go. Ooh, add in the productivity modules for sure on those. And then just like with the Kamako mash stuff, we are going to put a requester box over there too, and then this will just become the other seed. So the jellynut seed. Box there. Passive provider box there. This we will request jellynut, and we'll request, I don't remember how many I have up here for that. Oh, 10. So we'll do 10 of that, and then just for good measure, we'll do 2 of that in case there's not any in the loops. We still have some if there's any in the network anywhere. Okay. Well, there's that. I now have jelly. And where does jelly go? What do we do with that jelly? I don't know. What does jelly turn into? Are there any obvious recipes I am missing? Oh, okay, so jelly plus the Yamako mash equals bioflux. I hate to have bots just basically doing all of this stuff, but until I upgrade my loop, we're going to use bots for now. So we could just direct insert the jelly stuff, and then we'll bot in the mash. So I guess we'll need an additional output here. This will be Mash going in there. Oops. Crap. Okay, move that instead of delete that. I will cap that off at a stack for now. I wonder if I should active provider chest that one. I don't know. Let's leave that there for now how it is. And then we will request the mash in this one. And then eventually we will clean this all up and make it nice and pretty, or at least prettier. Let's request 10 of that. Go in there. Do I need nutrients for this too? Probably. Bioflux. Yep, I need nutrients. Good thing I have nutrients on a little loop here. And then bioflux. Ooh! Technology, bacteria cultivation is researched. We'll have this go into a passive provider box, but this spoils as well. So what do I do with this? It's a highly nutritious blend of gleba crops, grants bursts of both health regen and movement speed when eaten. So I can left click to consume it, but it also unlocked another technology. Bioflux processing is researched. Let me put a condition here just so I'm not going crazy on this. I just borrowed the condition from the Pentapods, but this will just be the bioflux. If bioflux is less than or equal to 20, then we'll have it steal from there. Same with the condition on that inserter. And now I have 71 bioflux. What exactly I do with it, we will find out for next episode. So we're making progress. It's just not very clean, but it's progress nonetheless. I eventually hope we can start getting a bus system and automation of things, but that will be later, I guess. So as always, thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know what you think of the progress, and I will see you next time.